Nah, man, your hair looks sexy.
Oh yeah, I know it does.
You can see we're using Jillian's camera right now because I didn't want to have anyone on a time limit with their videos in case I wanted to rant about the Nicholas Sparks movie or probably call me a fucker for 30 minutes.
What?
I mentioned at the end of the Fury video, I was like, I gotta get inside and go see me and Jake's movie to avoid running into Brian and Dave. I saw them. They weren't happy.
No, I saw them too. They were pretty upset.
I asked them if they had anyone else in their audience, and they're like, well, there was a lot of people in our row, and then one girl smack dab in the middle who was crying. Our movie had 0 people.
It was just me and Brad.
We're the only fucking ones there. He goes to use the restroom beforehand. I go in the movie theater, sitting in the far very back, comes walking in. Jake, over here!
I see you, buddy!
Oh, damn it. Come on, Jillian's camera, focus.
Focus.
Focus. Come on, Jillian camera. Okay, I think it's good.
Yeah, we'll just be blurry.
So we got out a Book of Life. It's pretty entertaining.
I liked it.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. Of the movies we've seen this year where there was no one else in the theater, it's by far the best one.
Yeah.
This is way better than When the Game Stands Tall.
Uh-huh. Man. Forgot about that movie.
Yeah, because that was the same
Jesus night.
Yeah, that was the same night as the Identical.
I remember the Identical.
Yeah, we were too busy remembering the Identical. Yeah, this is a really, really colorful, really well-made, interesting-looking movie. Mm-hmm. All the characters are really cool in it, kind of puppety looking and everything. And it starts out with a group of kids who are like the detention kids, and they're at the museum, and if you get detention, that means you're in for an excellent story that's going to be told to you.
Oh my god, this story was great.
And also, the afterlife will be proven to you.
Yes. Yes. Beyond a shadow of a doubt.
Beyond a shadow of a doubt, there is life after death now for these kids.
Yeah.
So so they go up to the museum, and the lady who's like their like tour guide who's going to tell them this story is like, no, not that door. This door, which is this secret door that leads into this like cave area, which it's a good thing it's the good-looking lady tour guide who was doing this.
Right, it's not me up there. Hey kids, y'all going the wrong way.
Step into this alley.
Step into this alley with me.
I've seen this movie. They're just gonna lead them to Balloon Land. So then she proceeds to tell them the story of the Book of Life on Day of the Dead, and it's these two gods, and they've wagered a bet with each other. They've wagered a bet with each other because they got some fucking time to
I love
kill.
it when gods do that.
Yeah.
I love it. I'm bored as shit. We're eternal. You want to make a bet?
Let's make a fucking bet. Let's do this. So they do. It's like there's this kind of love triangle with these 3 kids, 2 guys and a girl. And they're like, all right, if she marries this person, I win. She marries this person, I win. Not only that, because these 2 gods have made this bet together, like, okay, this is kind of like sweet and everything. She's gonna, one of them, a couple of them at least, are gonna find true love. But because of this bet with these 2 gods, like, a lot of people die.
There's a lot of death in this movie.
But it's like zany, like, Looney Tunes death, it's like, it's usually when something like that happens in this movie, it's like wacky, they die because like a cactus falls on them, like, it's got a soundtrack that's made up of actually a lot of songs that you hear in like Looney Tunes cartoons, like how when this movie first starts and it's morning, it's playing the stereotypical like morning music.
Morning music.
Yeah. which I needed in like one video. I can't remember what it was, but I was like, I don't know what the actual name of that is. So I just went to YouTube, morning music. Sure enough, first fucking one that pops up.
We got you. We know what you mean.
And okay, so one of the guys grows up to be Channing Tatum, who has the evil god, kind of evil, like
they're not
like
really
asshole
evil.
god.
He's
in
a
it.
dick. I mean,
Yeah.
he's supposed to be like the underworld, the underworld deity, but he's not.
Yeah.
He's not evil by any stretch of the imagination. He's an asshole,
Yeah,
and he'll do whatever it takes to win.
he'll cheat.
He'll cheat.
Yeah,
I respect that.
yeah.
All right, anything worth having is worth cheating for.
So there's Joaquin, who's the one who grows up to be like basically like Gaston, but not as like rapey.
Not as rapey. Gaston is very rapey.
Like there's always like girls surrounding him and stuff like that, and they're always like, ah, goddamn Jillian, she's like, how did she use this camera? It always goes out of focus. All right. So anyway. He grows up to be like, the kind of like handsome, like if your town's in fucking trouble, he'll defeat all of them because he's given a medal that gives him like, he can't be hurt and he can't be injured or anything like that. So that makes him a good fighter. And then the other guy, who's Sanchez, he's the one who, his family he comes from a family of bullfighters, and of course is going out of focus again. He comes from a family of bullfighters. But he doesn't want to kill the bull by the end of it. He just wants to sing. He just wants to sing. His family doesn't want him to sing. They want him to be a bullfighter. And it's hilarious because when he's fighting the bull at the beginning of it, and he doesn't kill it, he doesn't kill the bull at the beginning, everyone's really disappointed in him, including
The bull. That was so funny. Like the big moment where he's fighting a bull in front of the female interest, the girl that both of them are in love. She comes back from, which was another really funny part, at least for me, when the dad, like when she was little, there was some hijinks involved. The three amigos let loose a bunch of animals. They tore through the town. All hell broke loose. Hilarity. And then the dad, who is the town leader, he's a general, I believe. He gets mad at her, and so he sends her away to
I think like a convent,
like
or
a
something.
convent, I believe, in somewhere in Spain. And when they're having the big tearful goodbye, the one who's crying the hardest is the father, which kind of made me laugh. Cause like, dude, you're the one who's sending her away. Why are you crying? Like at this point, that's when you should just be like, all right, sweetheart, come back when you've had a big old glass of Actorite. I'm not gonna release a bunch of goddamn animals in my town.
Yeah, she releases pigs, and then she gets to keep one of them. Pig's actually kind of funny. Like, he doesn't speak in the movie except for like grunts and stuff like that, but the physical comedy with the pig is pretty good. It's a cute looking thing. The animation's really adorable in this.
It is.
I mean, it really, really is. Everyone's really unique looking, just looking at the small details, whether it's like their rock necklaces, their giant fucking noses, or like big so many things have
So many
mustaches in it.
mustaches.
Whether it's on a guitar or
the
globe.
right over Mexico with a giant mustache.
Oh man, I used to draw that on the globe in grade school. I didn't know that was fucking real.
I didn't.
That's what it looks like? Oh my god.
No, only over Mexico. Which it was, only over Mexico.
Well, then when they're adults, the girl comes back, and each of them are kind of fighting to win her affection. And of course, the asshole god, he wants to win, so he cheats by making Sanchez think that the girl has died from a snake bite, even though she hasn't, but he thinks she's dead. And so he's like, oh, I'd do anything to be with her. And like, really? Yes? Okay. Bitten by 2 snakes. Dead.
Yeah.
Dead. Then that's what you see in the trailer, where he's like skeleton, where people are kind of skeleton looking, but with different designs on their face. They're in like the land of the remembered.
Land of the remembered.
very, very colorful, very pretty looking, vibrant, bright, a lot of physical comedy.
That was a fun place. That was a party.
That's kind of one of the things I liked about this movie is, I mean, I've seen the trailer a few times, but in actually watching this, like seeing the plot unfold and everything, it was, for at least the first like 2/3 of it, it was actually a fairly unpredictable movie.
It kind of was, wasn't it?
I was like, wow, so she's dead? Okay, and then you find out later she's not, but for a little bit there,
For a
like,
minute, like, it was like he sends the snake out, and you're kind of led to believe that it was meant for... I don't really know who it was meant for. He just sends the snake out, like, I can't lose this bet, so here we go.
yeah.
And he sends it out, and the snake lunges after Sanchez. She pushes him out of the way. She's the one who gets bit by one-headed snake. She gets bit. She goes down. We think she's dead. Like, Sanchez is carrying her back to town, and it's raining. It's super sad. They're pissed at him. They're super pissed. They're blaming him for the death.
It should have been.
It should have been you. And so he goes back to go pick up his guitar, and he's feeling pretty bummed. And that's when he says, "I will do anything." And it's when the I don't need, what was his name?
Oh, the asshole god, Ron Perlman. Yeah.
All right, Ron Perlman shows up, and he's like, "All right, well, you understand the wording, what you're saying. You will do anything. You understand the wording that you were saying." "Yes, I do."
See.
"You got it." So he gets bit by a two-headed snake, and he goes down. So you're in the big fiesta. He meets his family, his extended family, those who have been dead. That was fun.
Yeah. It kind
Because like all three of them, they were all bullfighters, and so they tell about the greatness of what they did. All three of them did something that
it got him killed.
got him killed. All three of them. It was so funny. Like the first guy was just like the big, huge guy.
Yeah.
And he said that he fought a bull without a cape because capes are for cowards.
So he dies. And it goes into like 2D animation.
It does,
when
like
this goes on. It's
cartoon,
kinda cool.
like very cartoony. So like he's dead. And then we go to the next Sanchez, who fought not one bull at a time with no cape, but 3 bulls at a time.
3 bulls at a time.
And then he
Dead.
dead. I don't even remember what Grandpa did.
It's like, yeah, because he goes into the land of the remembered. So yeah, he meets his deceased family, and he's also looking for his lover. So it turns into like wacky cartoon Mexican what dreams may come.
Yeah, it did. It was fun.
Not nearly as fucking depressing and about all the suicide, but so
he does that, and he meets his mom. His mom was dead at the beginning of it.
Yeah,
that's how they explain the land of the remembered and whatnot. And so he meets his mom. That was nice. And so they go to the female deity, and who is supposed to reign over this realm. Like, she's in the land of the remembered, the other dude's in the land of the forgotten. So she's supposed to be in the land of the remembered, but because of the bet was a switch spots.
Yeah.
So assholes up top because he's tired of being forgotten. That is the only reason. Like he's not planning on destroying anything. He's not taking over the world. He's just, I am sick and fucking tired of being down there. I want to be up here.
Even though it seems like he can really leave at any time.
Yeah,
because,
like they're kind of doing whatever. They're gods.
Yeah,
like you can do whatever you want.
Yeah, even though like that's kind of the land that he's in charge in, he's not like necessarily stuck there. It's just the part that he's in charge of. He leaves because like they're on Earth all the goddamn time.
All the time.
All the time they're on Earth. He's just like, fuck it, I want to be in charge of something else.
Like I'm tired of my job. I want to know what it's like up here.
Yeah. And then like a new bet, like he has to figure out a way to like kind of get out of there so he can get back on Earth to hook up with his girl and save the town too, because if the town dies, then he will be forgotten. Then he'll be forgotten.
Because
and
everybody
he'll turn to
will
dust.
die.
Everyone will die. And that's when the climax comes in with a lot of wackiness. Because there is a lot of fighting in the movie and everything, and there are people dying, but it's definitely played for laughs.
It is.
It's absolutely played for laughs, except for like when he thinks the girl's bitten by the snake.
Yeah.
But they'll be down there in the land of the forgotten and everything, and then all of a sudden, like, his grandma from Earth, who...
Oh, that part was funny.
Yeah.
That's, like,
She's sitting there, like, knitting the whole movie.
like the whole movie, she's just like this tiny little Mexican lady who is knitting, just knitting away and spouting out wisdom that nobody's listening to.
Yeah.
Like that character always does.
Yeah.
That type of character, rather. And so at the end of it, the wager is, in order to get him back to the land of the living, he has to basically face his greatest fear.
Yeah.
Which is all the bulls that his family has ever killed.
Well, that's what you think at first. You think that his greatest fear is, like, defeating a bull or, like, killing a bull. So, yeah, they face him off against, like, all the bulls that his family has defeated, and it kind of turns into one giant bull. But it turns out that his greatest fear was... What was it? It was, like, not being able to do his passion or something like that, or it was not being able to be himself.
Yeah.
It was something
That was
like
it.
that. So he defeats the bull by basically singing an apology song.
Yeah,
to the
I'm
bull.
sorry, bull. I'm sorry, my bad.
And when this
I'm
happens,
sorry, bull.
well, right before then, the father died. Like I
Oh
said,
my
a lot
god,
of, a lot of
that part
people
was
die
really
in
funny
this.
because like there's this big fight, there's a bunch
Yeah.
of bulls, and he's bullfighting, and then they all kind of turn into one giant bull.
Yeah.
And so he's battling with the giant bull, and then it cuts back to the land of the living, and the bandit, the bad guys, the
Yeah.
bandits are coming in to destroy the town, to take everything.
Uh-huh.
And the first person who's told is our hero Sanchez's father. And so he was like, "All right, children, go warn the town. I'll fend them off."
Yeah.
And like so he's defiantly standing his ground, and the head bandit shows up.
Uh-huh.
And it's like, "I hate bullfighters." And so it's like, "Ah!" And then it immediately cuts to back downstairs, and then bloop, there he is. He's like, "What am I doing? What's going on?" And then like very shortly thereafter, just they're all standing there watching what's happening, and then bloop, there's Grandma.
Yeah. And you're like, I'm like, did the bandits kill the grandma or something? And they're like, what are you doing here, Grandma?
Cholesterol.
And apparently poor grandma just keeled over
Like,
in the land of the living due to bad cholesterol. All right. It was cute. It's a cute movie. I wouldn't say that it's like a consistently like laugh out loud comedy, but it is a fairly consistent like belly laugh
you
film.
get a couple of really good laughs out of it.
Yeah, there's
A couple of one that you just don't
Yeah.
really expect. Like when he was when he gets first introduced, they show in the trailer with like the constable on the horse.
Yeah.
And so they ride down there, and he's kind of leading him to where he needs to go, and he's explaining that he's here for Maria, his love. And the constable is like, "I too am waiting for my honey bun to come and see me again." And then it cuts to the front of the horse, and bloop, this horrendous looking woman with red curly hair goes,
Oh,
"My love!"
yeah.
And then it comes back to the constable and goes, "Ah, too soon!"
Yeah, there are
Like,
some
out of nowhere. Just what the? I wasn't expecting that.
Yeah, there's a lot of really quick jokes in it. It's a pretty fast-paced movie.
It is.
Whether it's action or the jokes, but so a few times there are some laugh out loud moments, but it is, like I said, fairly consistent, like a lot of like kind of like belly laughs, like like kind of silent laughs and stuff like that, because it is pretty quick. They go by at a really, really good pace, and I enjoyed it. I thought it was a pretty entertaining movie. There were some things that were kind of like eye-rolly a little bit, like some of the really like kind of modern lingo they throw in
There was
here
a lot of that. Like
sometimes it worked.
it worked on occasion, but then there were parts where it completely took you out for
Ice
just a
Cube.
split second.
Yeah,
Like
a
even
lot of
Ice
the
Cube, even
stuff
Ice Cube for me wasn't really that bad when he was just talking.
Like when he was providing
like,
exposition.
yeah, that was actually fine. But then he would do something.
Now that's a lot of bull.
Yeah,
Like
shit
that.
like that.
That didn't really. God damn, Jillian. I don't know how she films with this thing.
I don't know.
But yeah, like so he'll pop up every now. Like he shows up, and it's like okay, because he's the keeper of the candles. You know, every candle is a life, and he explains that he is kind of the pathway between the land of the the land of the remembered and the like good like lady god in the Morte. But then like kind of once that character doesn't really need to be there anymore, he still sticks around.
He's still kind of like, all right, candle maker, we get it.
Yeah, which normally would be fine, but every now and then he'd be like, oh, yeah, that's my man Morte, what? Oh, like, really? Like, come on. Every now and then something like that would work. Like, Channing Tatum was pretty funny in the movie. He plays the Joaquin character, and when he's doing, like, you know, the arrogant kind of, like, military guy thing, they're like, oh yeah, what? I get that a lot, yeah, you know, stuff like that. Like that was kind of funny, but every now and then it was like, okay, tone it down with like the modern slang a little bit, please. The framing device for the movie I thought was like fine. Like, you know, they show up at this museum and this story is being explained to them. Like, for the most part, like that's fine. But when it kind of kept cutting back to that, the kids who are being told this story are a little annoying. Like, I'm glad an entire movie is not about these kids. I really am.
Destroyed this.
Yeah, because they're stereotypical, annoying, really, like
when they're introduced, they're shooting spitballs. Like you can't really get more stereotypical delinquent children behavior.
Hair over their eyes, and
I can't judge that.
Like, so, like. In like a modern pop star kind of way.
In the emo way.
Yeah, and
the
so
bangs over the front.
Yeah. So like it's like a 40-year-old kind of trying to write what a 13-year-old like might say or something like that. So okay, they're in it far few in between, but when it does cut back to them, like something kind of serious in the movie might happen, like when you think that the girl is dead, like something serious might kind of happen, and then it'll cut back to them and they'll be like, oh snap, what? Don't tell me she's dead. I didn't know this was gonna be a sad story. Like, shut up. Like, it kind of felt like, even though we saw the movie in an empty theater, it kind of felt like there were annoying kids in the audience.
Kids in the audience who were reacting to the movie.
Damn it.
Like, I'm all right with that normally, but just not those characters.
But that's
because they were really annoying.
Yeah, I mean, that's pretty far few in between, but when they do come back into it, it does kind of take you out of it, because it is like an annoying kid sitting behind you in the theater who is loudly reacting to what they're seeing, and it's not really that funny, it's not that cute, it's just kind of annoying. But I understand the framing device, that's fine.
Yeah.
The narration is fine.
I like that, but the premise of why the story is being told was a little weak, in my opinion.
Just, you mean like...
Because it was supposed to be a bus of delinquent kids.
Yeah.
But really, there's one delinquent who is the emo one with the haircut who's shooting spitballs. There's another spiky-haired kid who is just kind of a dick.
Yeah.
And then there's like this tiny little 5-year-old who's just adorable.
Oh,
what
right.
the hell
Yeah.
did she do to be in the delinquent ones?
Probably
the back
kicked someone in the junk.
She stabbed somebody in the eye.
Yeah.
I don't know what she did. And then there was Goth Girl, and then another character who only talked like maybe once or twice.
Yeah.
God damn.
Right? Jesus Christ.
And so, like, it didn't really make a lot of sense on why they were there.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? Just besides the fact that they wanted to they wanted the movie to be told like a narration, like like a woman telling a story, which is fine. I'm all right, and it worked really well. I like the narration in it.
Yeah, the narration was fine.
I like the fact that she was telling a story and you're watching the story. I like that.
She provided exposition where it was necessary at the very beginning of it. You know, I think that just narration on its own could have been just fine in and of itself. Like maybe if it was just one of the characters in the story narrating this, that could have been a little bit better. I don't know if maybe like the stuff with the museum and all that was maybe like an afterthought, like in pre-production stage, to like get, I don't know, to appeal more to like the Western audience. I have no idea, but I mean that's a very, very, very small percentage of this movie, and that along with some of like the modern kind of jokes in it were really the only things I didn't much care for about the movie. But overall, it was the majority of the movie was pretty entertaining.
They weren't jarring to the point that it affected the movie.
It was not the slugs from Epic.
Yeah,
it wasn't that.
It wasn't. It wasn't the slugs.
No, it wasn't that to that huge of a degree. I'd at least recommend this as like a matinee screening.
Yeah, go see it.
Yeah, I liked it better than the Alexander movie that you missed out on last week, which I mentioned that you would have loved.
Oh, I bet.
Guys, this is the worst day ever, and I know something about bad days.
No, you don't.
Come on, man. He had a really bad day, dude. And the carpool over there, he had to sit in the middle of the car. Like, there was the bully kid who, like, photoshopped his head on a naked girl's body. It was a rough day, dude.
God. I can't sympathize with this. I can't. Fucking, it just hurts my head.
You would have hated that movie.
I would have hated it so much. Alexander and I'm so white. Fuck, I wish at that age the worst thing that ever happened to me was I had to sit in the middle of a carpool.
Oh, also, he woke up with gum in his hair.
Oh my God.
And he really wanted to do his school report for geography class. He really wanted to do it on Australia, but he didn't get it. The other kid got it.
Oh my God.
It's okay though, man. It's okay, because at the end of the movie, he finally gets his birthday party with a petting zoo that did include a crocodile. Because it was an Australian petting zoo.
Man.
And the kangaroo got loose and kicked Steve Carell across the screen. Actually, Steve Carell was good in the movie. He was having a bad day too. He had a job interview, but his like shirt got ruined, so he had to show up in like a pirate shirt.
Had to?
Yeah, it was the only one there. Because like his daughter was in a school production of Peter Pan, and that's where his shirt got fucked up on. So the only thing sitting there was the pirate's outfit.
I can't even follow the story arc of this thing. I'm sorry, I can't. This is white people problems personified. I wanted to do it on Australia, but I got Africa instead, and I wanted to sit by the window, but I couldn't. Yeah. Like that reaction from a child, I swear to God, is the closest I will ever come to punching a child. I can't fucking stand that. I can't.
You would have been so miserable in that movie. I mean, honestly, I was too.
Like, I get it. Not every fucking problem has to be terrible shit that I had to experience. I get it. But that doesn't mean you have to make it this fucking white. You don't have to make it this white. You don't have to make it this waspy if I'm offending you other white people out there.
You're gonna get several comments now, like usual, that say like Jake knows he's white, right?
Fucking really? Yes, I'm aware I'm white. That doesn't change the fact that I'm bitching about white people problems. Fuck. I'm aware that I'm white. Assholes.
We can still call you Black Jake, right?
Yeah, I'm alright with that. Inside of me beats the soul of a 70-year-old black man. 70-year-old black man who ain't gonna take any shit from some whitey-ass white kids bitching about their upper middle class problems. Those are not problems.
Like I get like making a movie about like, okay, yeah, there's plenty of movies that are about people having shitty days and stuff like that. That's absolutely fine. Like I totally get that. Like where that movie was really losing me was all of the this is the worst fucking day. Like all of that talk was like really.
You don't know what a bad day is. A bad day is not that. That is an irritating day. Sure. Alexander in the really irritating day. But not the horrible, no good, very bad day.
Jim Carrey in Liar Liar had a way worse day.
Right? That motherfucker had a bad day.
This is the far superior version of that movie. Next week is
fucking white people. This is why I didn't watch Seinfeld. That to me personally was like white people problems on the television.
At least in that, like, they were pretty unapologetic assholes.
They were.
That. I haven't seen Seinfeld in a while, but like, at least in that they're pretty unapologetic about being assholes. It seems like they're aware that they're pretty bad people.
Yeah, but it's just that weird, it's that awkward type of, the stylistic of, what's up with that? Well, Jerry Seinfeld. It's just white people. I don't know how else to describe it.
You should watch if you liked Seinfeld, you should watch the pilot for Mulaney. It's so much better.
I didn't like Seinfeld. I watched Martin.
I watched Martin.
Martin was on in our household way more than Seinfeld was. And again, yes, I'm aware I'm white.
I watched Martin. Martin was hilarious.
We also watched a hell of a lot more Living Color than we did Saturday Night Live, too.
Oh, yeah, me too.
A lot more.
Yeah.
Loving Living Color.
Next week is Ouija.
Oh, God.
Ouija and John Wick, which I'm really looking forward to.
Which one's that?
The Keanu Reeves movie.
Oh, right.
That's amazing. Keanu Reeves will shoot you in the fucking face.
Yes!
I can't wait for that fucking movie. I'm really, really excited about John Wick. Alright, I'm gonna go home and watch David Bryan's video. Later.